I want to see if this bike, which I bought as a non-runner, will start for the very first time. I mean, I fixed the engine with epoxy, right? Which I can admit sounds like something you would do moments before financial disaster. But I guess that's the thing about these bikes. Nobody buys them as a commuter bike. People who buy them because for some reason these bikes make you believe that adventure is still possible. The problem is, 2 days ago, while I was fixing the cylinder head, I found a crack inside the engine. And so what I did is I took JB Weld epoxy and I made a little V shape there. And then I took a sanding paper like this and make this a bit rough and on this side. And then I sealed it with the JB Weld epoxy. But then most of you in the comments said there's absolutely no way it's going to last. But honestly, whether that crack which I sealed with epoxy holds or not is not my biggest worry, because this bike stood at the auction yard and the cylinder was open. And during that time, water could technically have seeped into the engine. So that's why I just want to put it together so that we can see if it actually starts. The only problem with putting it back together is I've never worked on an engine like this. With the epoxy, the worst case that can happen is oil can start leaking from the crack. So if it leaks oil there, you will be able to see the oil on your shoe. So that's when I thought, okay, if it lasts, great. If it fails, then I do the TIG weld. So to get this epoxy nice and flush, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mark this part and there. And now, while I'm sanding, I must make sure that this paint stays there so that I don't damage this surface before I get rid of all the epoxy. Perfectly flush. So this is the new cylinder head and this is the old one. They say make sure that the rimmed sleeve and straight pin are securely installed. So that's that and that. So this is the rimmed sleeve which goes into this hole here. But then there should be a straight pin there, and from the old one I can see it's there, but it's broken off. That's a bit of a problem because the other side of that broken pin is still in the engine block. I'm going to use this very small drill bit. Okay, so I think if I now just put the self-tapping screw in there and get some grip on it, then hopefully I can, there it goes, it turned, look at that. Now I just need to get it out. Look at that, it's working. Haha, no ways, nice. And I can see that this pin is exactly 6 millimeters diameter. Okay, and what I found is a drill bit which is exactly 6 millimeters. And now I just need to make sure that I get exactly 15 millimeters of this. At this point, I became slightly concerned that I had now maybe crossed the line between, motorcycle restoration and arts and crafts. But the pin came out beautifully. And there we have it, a 6 millimeter straight pin. Straight pin fits there. Perfect. Okay, so the next thing now is to check these bolts to see if they are perfectly straight. This one is slightly off. Okay, now we fit this to the bike. I can take the new gasket. Okay, so that's quite interesting. It's almost like there are two of them, but they are put together with these things here. First I thought maybe it's one on this side and one on that side of the engine. But anyways, I think this is fine. So let's fit this onto there, and now the cylinder head, the chain goes there and then into this rubber like that, and now it feels great. They say tighten diagonally opposite sequence. First tighten torque to 5 Newton, then 20 and then to 40 Newton meter. 5 Newton meters. 20 Newton meters, 40 Newton meters. Okay, now I need to connect the bypass arrows, just like that. So next step is to insert the sprocket into the timing chain and then install the axle and the clamping screw. Torque at 8 Newton meters. Now the next step is to use this special time tensioner tool, but I don't have a tool like this, so what I'm going to do is just use this normal chain tensioner and put that in for now, and then hopefully we can get the bike to start. And then if the engine is fine and it works, then I can always take it to someone who's got that special tool to set the timing for me perfectly. But if I don't have a tool like that, so for now I think I'll just hope it can work without it. And now the cam holder. Perfect. Alright, now next they say I should take this tool and see if these things align properly. So now they say I should loosen these two bolts and then align this. Number 16, 90 degrees, 65 Newton meters. Perfect. Nice. Okay, so now they say I should check the valve clearances, and for the intake side it should be between 0.1 and 0.17, and for the exhaust side it must be 0.3 and 0.41. Then came the part which I really didn't want to get wrong, setting the valve clearances, which is something that I've never done before. So I followed the manual as far as possible, and I just hoped that I'm doing everything right the first time. So this is all in spec, so I'm happy about that. So the timing might be slightly out, but then I'll have this set by BMW once the engine runs, just to make sure it's 100% correct. And then the next step is to remove the plug on the opposite side of the engine and install the normal plug there. Okay, and then this gets torqued to 30 Newton meters. Perfect. Okay, now they say I must tighten these 3 bolts to 10 Newton meters. Perfect. Okay, then the coil. Now unfortunately this plug has broken off in the accident, which is supposed to go in there. But then I was lucky to find this one as a second-hand part. So all I need to do now is fit this onto there. And there we go, new plug fitted. Now this goes in the coil and this earth goes back there. This clip goes there. And before trying to start anything, I decided, let me first see what was trapped in the bottom of that engine. So I decided to drain the engine oil. The funny thing about these GS bikes is they make ordinary people think that you are just like one decision away from riding across Africa. Meanwhile, I'm standing here draining what looks like a cappuccino out of my engine. Okay, look at that. Small problem. So the oil that's draining out isn't proper oil. It's like oil, but it's mixed with this like milky stuff, which is not great. Okay, so I think what happened maybe was when this cylinder head was open in the auction yard, maybe some rainwater got in here and mixed with the oil, and that's what we're seeing there now. So what I think I should do, let the new oil go through all the pipes and then shut it down. And then drain that fresh oil, which is now taken out all this milky stuff with it, hopefully, and then put in new oil again. So basically do a double flush, just to try and get rid of all this milky stuff. But yeah, surely that can't be good for the engine. First, let's fit the exhaust. Okay, now in my video where I showed you how I took out the dent in the exhaust header pipe with the ice.
It actually worked.
2 of you mentioned or asked the question whether doing it with the ice didn't maybe adjust the angle at which this joint is now sitting. So that's what we're going to find out now as well, because if this angle at which this thing has shifted or bent, then this header pipe is not going to seal properly against the cylinder heads. So that's what we are about to find out as well. I hope it's not the case. I hope it actually just fits perfectly. But that's what we're going to find out now. So let's try and fit this and see if it actually still fits. And it looks like it's fitting perfectly. Okay, so the next thing I want to try and do is fit the servo motor, which has got these two cables. So the top one is called the return cable, and this goes closest to me. And then the bottom one, the actuator cable, is going to go on that side. Just use this tool to just hook it around this edge. So this on here, and then one bolt here. Very nice. Okay, I think next thing is we fit new oil filter. Okay, so now I'm just going to put a clean bucket underneath so I can see if some of that gunk comes out here. It looks like clean engine oil actually. Okay, that's very good news because that's just clean engine oil. There's none of that milkshake stuff in here. So it means it didn't go through the entire engine. Now a new oil filter. And then pour in the engine oil. 3 liters. And now they say I should just put in another 500 mils. And then I must first take it for a ride. Okay, that is exactly 3.5 liters. Alright, I've got the key. And now we're going to find out for the very first time if it actually starts. The only thing that I haven't done, I haven't put in a coolant. So if it starts, then I'm not going to run it for long. I'll switch it off again. And then tomorrow I'll get coolant and fill the coolant. But even without coolant, it should still start. There is some coolant in the reservoir there. And there's still some coolant maybe on the other cylinder, but this one I drained the coolant. Alright. Key. Lights. Okay, are we ready? I mean, what can go wrong, right? Let's do it. It's in neutral. Yes. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm actually nervous. But it should start. Let's see. Holy massive Veroni. Wow. Wow. Right there, I genuinely thought this engine was destroyed, which is usually not what you want 2 seconds after putting one back together. Oh my goodness, I forgot to put in the spark plug. Oh goodness, I forgot to put in the spark plug on that side. Holy. Oh. And then the compression threw out this thing, the coil, straight out there. It's a good thing I didn't put on this cover. The wire still looks fine. But yeah, there's no spark plug. Okay, I didn't expect that. I never even put in the new spark plugs. There they are. Okay, so I just need to fit the new spark plugs quickly. Hopefully now it goes better. At least now we've got 2 spark plugs. Alright, let's try again. Ready. Okay, it's going. It's going. It's running. It sounds a bit there's smoke coming out here. And then smoke started coming out, which is really not what you want to see because it didn't even come from the exhaust. It looked like it came from all over the engine. Honestly, my stomach dropped a bit here. There's some dripping something there. The strange thing was the engine kept going. And after a while, it slowly started to look like the smoke maybe started to clear a bit. So I think the smoke is coming from the exhaust. So then I thought maybe it was just some oil or soap or stuff which was still on the exhaust header pipe, which when it got hot maybe created the smoke. There's still smoke, something is dripping there. So that gave me a little bit of hope. There's also smoke coming out here. And even here. Okay. Okay, well, it was running, eh? Right, so at this point, I was still very much worried that maybe I didn't get all of that milky, oily stuff out of the engine. Okay, but it's running. So I was still uncertain whether I fixed the bike. Maybe it's because there's no coolant, or did I maybe just convince this bike to run long enough to embarrass me later? Can it make smoke that quickly if there's no coolant in the system? Okay, look, I still don't fully trust this engine, right? But at least it started. So I'm off to the shop to buy some coolant. If you want to subscribe, then I'll catch you in the next video. And please remember to give this video a like, because it just helps the channel to grow. There's also a thank you button if you want to put some fuel in the tank of this channel. Ooh. But if you just want to chat, then I'll wait for you in the comments. Cheers, guys. Ooh, massive Corona.